And I was walking home today and I saw a soccer ball deflated. And it brought me to this full moon in Aquarius message. And I paused and I just bought cleats for turf, as you see here in this gancha. And I just bought a soccer ball. And it's the first time for me. And this actually is a shamanic story about the moon, okay? The full moon coming in a few days, August 10th, in Aquarius. And so um, here's the irony. Oh, they won't let me. They're not gonna let me type that. Here's the irony. Thank you for that thumbs up and that hearts. Here's the irony. You know, the universe is speaking louder than words itself. Because again, I saw a deflated soccer ball. Now this has happened after I recently had one of our members from our Shaman's Roundtable leave. And I was like, okay, boom, this is Aquarius. I didn't think about the full moon, if I'm being honest, but now it makes even more sense. And this whole message today is about guarding sacred losses, you know. And for me, I look at this as the Terminator edition. And so the thing was, this obviously was not a coincidence after buying a soccer ball, first time ever, after buying cleats for a soccer field, first time ever. I've never played soccer before last Thursday, first time ever. And it was the loss of game. It was the loss of sport. I've talked to you before prior where, okay, based on my identity, especially as an Aries, I'm fifth house Aries, stellium. My identity is very linked to sports, and the sports of my home culture is basketball. Literally. I mean, look, I'm black. Don't all black people play basketball? And so the thing is, this deflated soccer ball, this tear in the path, okay, the opening through this tear when you talk about community, moving from a basketball community here in Mexico to a soccer or football, excuse me, a football community, right? Where it's no longer even soccer, it's football, right? This ripped open like a dream for me, you know, a whole new loss of breath and a portal into a community. So when we talk about Aquarius, Aquarius says hit that thumbs up and that likes button. We're going to talk about this moon today that you see right here. Okay, this moon is in Aquarius here. We're going to talk about how Aries is in Saturn. Saturn is in Aries. We're going to talk about Uranus, the modern ruler, is right there in Gemini. Okay, excuse me. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and the likes button. So at first, it made me pause. Then I realized, right, like this was a symbolism of what I've been feeling. This is a symbolism of the old games. This is a symbolism of the old teams. You talk about Pluto and Aquarius, you talk about games, power plays, power games. And when I was here in basketball, y'all saw maybe the video I put Mexico. And so there's a video on my channel that says attack Mexico. And it's literally when I was strangled by the throat playing basketball here in Mexico. Now this happened months ago, but this is how Pluto works through transformation. It's like until I let go of basketball, until I stop playing basketball, having to decline invitations even to play basketball with different people after such a violent act. Me never playing soccer or football, it began to open up a new channel, a new community of people, okay, who are ironically now infused with expats who are from England, who are from the US, who are from Mexico, who are from Colombia, rather than before when I was playing basketball here in Mexico. It basically was just Mexicans, if I'm being honest. And so the old games, the power plays, okay, this full moon in Aquarius is going to be bringing up a lot of things. And I'm going to also talk to you a little bit later about how AI and our ethics with AI in the realm of spirituality, in the realm of astrology, in the realm of shamanism and mystics is going to play a major loss. And what are we guarding when it comes to sacred losses? And it's going to be the Terminator edition. All right. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. Venus at 21 Aquarius. So you're really close. You're 4 degrees away. This full moon is going to be 17 degrees Aquarius. So we're going to talk about the Sabían symbol. As you hit that thumbs up and that likes button, throw some hearts in the chat. All right. Send this video. Share this to somebody that you love because this is a powerful message today. The old Playmates, you know, these are games and things that are no longer meant to come along with me. And for you, it might be different, right? But we're going to talk about this because Pluto was in play. It means that there's going to be endings. Okay, the fact that the moon right now, as I'm speaking this message on the full moon in Aquarius, is passing Pluto in Aquarius and is going to eventually be past that already by the time the full moon comes in a few days. But the Sabían symbol is here. It is a watchdog. Let me put my hands up. The Sabían symbol is a watchdog. Arr, 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 arr. Okay, who guards standing and protecting his master as well as his master's possessions. So we talk about the frequency of Taurus, the things that we own, the things we possess, which just left Uranus in Taurus, aka inviting a whole new, because even though we're like what, 1 to 0 degrees Uranus in Taurus, understand that Uranus is still closing out stories. Okay, there eventually will be a retrograde and Uranus going back into Taurus. So the thing is, these are our possessions that you are in the process of changing right now. Okay, Uranus and Gemini, you're currently changing them already, but we're going to retrograde and understand some people are going to be a little more stubborn because that's how Taurus is. So this full moon is about spiritual loyalty, right? We talk about Taurus, right? One of the most loyal signs ever. I truly believe that Taurus is a very loyal sign. So we talk about this full moon and talk about spiritual loyalty, okay? It's not about the expectations of other people to your personal mission, the expectation of other people to your inner code, the expectations of other people to your personal integrity, right? Sometimes we have to guard the field. The field is where we play. The field is where the power games occur in Pluto and Aquarius that you see up there. The moon is also like right in Aquarius, so obviously full moon Aquarius video. So the thing is, the field is also the things that we've been guarding, the things that we have built. When you talk about the traditional ruler of Saturn and Aries, which is right here. So Saturn and Aries is, what are these new things that you have built? Okay, Uranus, the modern ruler, Uranus and Gemini, ruler of Aquarius. What are the ways in which AI technology is teaching you while you are teaching it? Because Gemini is the mirror, so we're teaching AI, AI is teaching us. So where are we going to cross a moral dilemma that the full moon in Aquarius? Because we are starting to one day, hopefully, sooner than later, accept, as you hit the thumbs up and the likes button, that I am inputting information and gathering and collecting thoughts and ideas that are being shared. All of that is Gemini, 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 Gemini. I'm sharing that insight information with the AI. So I am the mirror of Gemini, the twin, teaching it how to teach me, how to inform me, how to ridicule me, how to support me, how to encourage and inspire me. So a lot of this is going to be happening with AI. So when we look at the ethical mirror with AI technology in the realm of spirituality, this is happening. People are using AI for astrology. People are using AI for shamanism to create spells. And I'm actually in the process of creating a 5-week workshop where I'm going to take the 5 elements and actually implement them into helping you create a business as an entrepreneur. And this is something that lightning came to me very much today. It came to me a couple days ago. And then I had one of our members and one of the people who came to my retreat talk to me about AI and me ever thinking about doing AI outside of our membership. And I was like, yo, I just thought about this yesterday. And now it's like, okay, this is a very clear invitation of like life set. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's get into this full moon in Aquarius message. So even when certain players walk off mid-game, okay, we have to understand that what's worth guarding. So you see I got my players in the background, right? Now, the spirit meaning of the deflated ball is the loss of play. It's the innocence, okay, that we go through, especially with the ruler being Saturn and Aries. It's the innocence of someone or something that has undergone a chapter that is essentially ending. It's moving on, okay? Especially within our community or within a dream that you've had, right? Aquarius oftentimes represents dreams. So on this full moon in Aquarius, understand AI technology is actually going to that dream, a concept, an idea, a thought behind community and the way in which we relate with other people, the way in which they help us reach our goals that are bigger than what we can do alone, and the way in which we give back and support them. And so the thing is, this is going to say we're going to need to refill our own ball or reinflate our own ball, which is a symbolism of the opposite of Aquarius being Leo, where we have to reinstate our joy. You hear what I said? Reinstate our joy, our play, our purpose. Reinstate our sacred energy through loss. Because when you lose something, guess what? You have space to create if you focus on taking the time and the space to grieve. Okay, don't skip your grief process, but understand you don't have to take grief all at once. It's not linear. Trying to deal with everything you've lost at once is going to be actually counterproductive and hold you back. Deal with grief in the waves that it arrives and contain it. This full moon Aquarius is going to help us contain with the boundaries of Aquarian warrior waters. Okay, when the Aquarius thing is pouring out, it's pouring out around a barrier, and it's literally containing the fire, which is Leo, keeping the fire fixed, Leo. So that's what the water bearer is about. It's about becoming the boundary, using that water to keep the fire at bay and circulating, aka you reinstating your joy, reinstating play, reinstating your sacred energy that it takes and required to build that project that Mercury retrograde in Leo you have already been thinking about. Okay, you've already understood what you wanted to do. It's just time to come back and come to terms with this is the risk that I am ready and willing to take, aka Leo represents willpower. Hit the and the likes button. And so here's the thing, right? Me seeing that deflated soccer ball after just buying cleats again, it was, again, cleats for the first time, because I've never had soccer cleats. I've never had turf cleats ever in my life. It was the symbolism that I'm ready to play again. You know, it was the symbolism that I'm ready to play again, but not necessarily with the same team. Okay. And so again, like losing a member recently in our Shaman's Roundtable, it's showing like, okay, like the team is switching up, right? Like there are new fresh blood arriving and coming in. And so, you know, the thing is, it's going to happen with a new community. And like I said, this community for me, I'm looking at with soccer, playing with Mexicans, but also Colombians, also people from Europe. Okay. Also Americans. Okay. There's a blend of soul players that are going to be, this is symbolizing everybody for the collective. This message is not just about me. It's about the collective. I'm using it as a story. A new blend of soulful players in your life, which can help you with your collaborations, your projects, your passions. Okay. It's the magic that football, you know, is going to, or these new soul players will help you have faith in something bigger than your current moment, bigger than your current loss. And so again, allow the loss to happen, because full moon is about culminations, closures, and endings. So allow it to happen, and you'll notice that life is trying to show you something something to have faith in that's literally brand new. So understand, like, you know, I had to come to this and realize, like, for myself, like, you know, I know this is not personal. This is my destiny work. And along the way of destiny, guess what? Every hero's journey, this full moon in Aquarius will teach you and remind you to hit that thumbs up and that likes button. Every hero's journey, okay, will come across a challenge, you know, where you'll meet a mentor. The mentor will take you to a certain place. You'll meet a team, and it'll take you to a certain place, and that team requires pruning, like a plant. And so think about a plant that has a lot of new growth. Like there's always a couple of leaves that die off, but there's 1,000 more leaves that grow in. So if you help by pruning or cutting off those leaves, those edges, you will find rooted wisdom and grounded tradition through having faith in your process. So this full moon in Aquarius is going to help you initiate new leads, teach with structure, or at least for me, it's helping me teach with structure and actually communicate with more authority. And this is part of my North Node in Capricorn being activated. Hey, Maria, what's going on? Good to see you in here. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up and that likes button. So the thing is, right? So like I said, while I just recently lost a community member, you know, it was important. You have to understand what full moon in Aquarius is telling us, like, we have to have a certain amount of emotional detachment and realize, like, nothing is personal. So when I look at this, like, okay, whoa. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that felt personal. Hold up. I got to show you this. I need to touch this with a napkin. Hold on. Hold on. Check this out. I'm not joking. Okay, so in the window, I keep an obsidian. So we learn all kinds of tricks in our membership, okay? I keep an obsidian in the window. And notice I'm touching this. When we talk about shamanism, we talk about this. We teach so much. So this obsidian was in the window, but notice I'm touching this with a napkin, okay? This thing just cracked in half. This thing just cracked in two major pieces. 2 major pieces. That officially is dead. Okay. I was just outside and saw this beautiful moon already. Oh, the moon has been shining through my window every night, and it's been so beautiful. It's like shining right on me. And I know it's very personal because where my side of the bed is, like, it's my partner can't see it based off my side of where it's coming through the window. What is this? This is Obsidian. This was Obsidian. You heard it just snap, right? And again, I'm not touching that with my bare hands. Okay. So we're going to have to bury that. Wow. Okay. So I'm over here saying it's not personal. Maybe it is. Who knows? But maybe it's not as clear as, oh, this is an attack from said member leaving on me. Okay. Because I don't believe that. Not even in the slightest bit, if I'm being honest. But it is something. I'll tell you that. Life's gonna reveal it. Why is it toxic? The best I can say from there is really come join our membership, and you'll realize, like, we learn so much magic. I got a 5-week course coming up about AI ethics and spirituality, and how to learn how to practice magic, and something simple as why would I touch that with a napkin? Why is it in my window? How to program that? These are things that you can also come one-on-one and learn with me in a retreat here in Mexico, where I teach these things to mystics, to shamans, to oracles. And I actually hit that thumbs up and that likes button again. I appreciate you. So we're going to continue with the message. So as I was getting ready to say, instead of me looking at this loss of member, right, community, Aquarius, as something personal and saying, oh, F you, it's your loss, or being bitter, or being petty or something like that. Instead, I'm looking at it like, nah, I honor this. Like, it makes me sad initially. I'm going to be present with the fact that I'm initially sad because this is a person who brought a lot of good energy, in my personal opinion. They brought vibes, like they brought powerful presence and like joy and light. I'm like, that's exactly what I want in our Shaman's Roundtable. So instead, I listened, I honored it, and I decided to learn because I feel like this is what leaders do. And again, leaders, in my personal opinion, they prune, okay, but with compassion. They prune so that the garden can breathe again, so the garden can bloom again. And I was like, okay, instead, let me invite this person to an exit reflection. I do this in our one-on-one mentorship with our shamans, and I do this in our retreats with our shamans. So I was like, let me do this even with a member. And this is a new thing that I implemented. So this full moon in Aquarius is really about spreading your influence, knowing what to support, how to support it, and knowing what not to support and when to stop supporting it. For me, this is like important when I think about community. It's like, well, just because you're no longer a member doesn't mean you're trash. Just because you're no longer a member doesn't mean that, you're evil, you're bad, you're wrong, you did something wrong. It's like, there are 1,000 reasons why. So instead, let me invite you to a reflection, which, in some ways, it's like, this is time, this is energy that it takes to put into doing an exit interview, to have a video call with somebody. It's like, that takes energy, that takes time. However, for me, I realized, like, community, this is something so much bigger than myself, and it matters. It's the same reason why with retreats, I don't ever run a retreat without running at least an 8-week follow-up, week by week mentorship that comes along with the retreat, like, in a sense, non-negotiable, because it's like, I don't expect you to come here in Mexico for 7 days and then you healed, you just magically, like, you got the keys to the city, you got the keys to spirituality, you got the keys to mysticism and shamanism and spirituality. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, we have to continue to integrate. So I was like, let's extend this into the membership. So this really where it kind of leads me to like this alchemical circle of AI where, again, like I say, it's for shamans, it's for mystics, and it's the early bird is opening. You can check the link in my bio or in my description. And early bird is going to be August 20th, but we don't start until September 20th. So the early bird is going to end August 20th. I need to make some little adjustments here and there, but the spark hit me where it's like this alchemical circle of activation that it was once is now turning into alchemical circle of AI, because I realize this is super duper important right now, in a stage that we're at where mystic shamans, leaders that lead from the soul, they need to explore AI tools, but with ethics, with spiritual grounding, with integrity, with creative power, right? And so I looked at it because the thing is, fear is being sold everywhere. People are fear mongering. I'm seeing even right now AI, they're saying like, hey, look, it's already backfiring based off of links that you put in, or, being able to, tap into your search history and learn more about you. And it's like, well, what has been happening differently already with, let's just say certain said big agencies who are doing advertisement dollars where the moment you say something, they send you that product on Amazon. They send you that product on, your local delivery site related to Amazon, something like it, right? Depending on where you are. And so it's like the thing is we have to understand that, people might come around across this understanding initially because we don't fully understand it and the power. The fear behind AI is evil. The fear behind it's going to steal your soul, right? The fear behind we're going to lose ourselves to the AI. We're going to lose our self-reliance. We're going to stop being so intuitive and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, I don't believe that. I believe that it's actually a tool that, life has just recently showed me to help you to understand how to use the AI properly. So I say this, only if it only can happen, it can only be evil if we forget our center. It can only be evil if, we stop infusing our own personal magic and we just become overly reliant on the technology itself. And we become, if we stop infusing our, our rituals, our spell work, our meditations, our breath work, our boundaries, if we don't fuse it with the tools itself, then I feel like this is kind of understanding where this full moon Aquarius really is helping us understand that, technology is not innately evil, bad, wrong. It isn't a threat, right? It's something that instead, it's not trouble. We need to see that the real issue is disconnection. And I remember having a retreat in Colombia, and it was called the Shaman Disconnect Retreat or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's the Shamanic Disconnect Retreat. And it was really about the complete opposite of like let's disconnect to reconnect, right? So we have to understand that this circle is going to help ensure that you stay rooted, and, even in the digital world where, it's not just spellcasting, but it's the activation of the spiritual laws that exist. Somebody would ask me the other day, like, what's spiritual law? Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, like life. Go ahead. Thank you for showing me what you want me to teach. Thank you for showing me what you want me to reveal through mindful action, through community, and through voice, which is what, again, the full moon in Aquarius is about. So when I look at the closing reflection of this full moon in Aquarius is saying, yes, people may leave. You may leave a community. You may leave a group. You may leave a WhatsApp chat. You may leave a group on Facebook. You may leave a mass media newsletter. You may leave something related with technology keeping you connected in a community, in a group that is out of alignment. It's a full moon. It's a culmination. It's a closure. If you're already thinking about it, then you should do that. Okay? This full moon in Aquarius says, guard your sacred losses. All right? But the thing is, when I look at it, like, yeah, people may leave, but the soccer reference that I gave earlier is, soccer balls may pop. Like I saw one deflated in the road. They may pop, but the joy itself is not lost, right? The full moon is reminding us that, you cannot lose what is truly yours. Even if time decides to borrow it for a reason, you can't lose it if it's innately close to your heart. It only can be reinvigorated and reinstated, like Leo, we said, by taking the risk and getting yourself out there and flirting and trying and being and existing with other people. Because, the old, the new, the torn, the tested, right? Like the emptiness that it may seem like we have for a little bit, it actually is a space that gets created that Aquarius is phenomenal at, in a space that we get to essentially choose again. We get to choose new. And for me, like you see in the background, I played soccer for the first time in my life, and that's completely a brand new community, right? So instead, I took the moment to look at that attack in Mexico between basketball and let my identity go as a black man who plays basketball, and all the anger and the rage that comes with that. Like I grew up around there's a lot of fights within basketball. There's a lot of physical violence, in my neighborhoods at the basketball courts. Everybody's acting tough and beating their chest, and everybody's willing to fight in order to, maintain their sense of dignity, their sense of respect. And it's like, that's not what it means to be a real man. And it's like, when I look at it today through evolution, it's like, being a real man is understanding when to walk away. And I had to do that. And I had to decide, I'm not here to fight. I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm just going to maintain my sovereignty, and that required me to walk away. That required me to deny all future basketball quests. That required me to lay down the sport and the community and the people that came with it. And by doing that, months later, it's like 5 months, 6 months later or so, I just found a community of people playing soccer, football. I got to start saying football before they kill me. And they say soccer. It's like, oh, snap. Like, I'm sorry. I did grow up in America. It's been soccer for so long. So the thing is, I chose to lead, right, with vision, with ethics, and my North Node mission is very much alive. So when I look at this, I say, the details are down below in the description. Join my alchemical circle of AI. Is going to still be initiated through shamanism, through the 5 elements, and we're going to go through a curriculum that I'm going to actually be updating soon. So you won't really see those reflections on my website yet, quite frankly, because this is just me on a very excited moment with this full moon. But let me know, what are you protecting? What is sacred to you in the comments? If I look at this map, let's talk about this map for one brief second before we get off of this particular live transmission. Let's see what we got going on here for the Sabían symbols of the other ones. So we talked about the full moon Aquarius. Now let's talk about the traditional ruler, Aries, at 1 degree. The Sabían symbol for this is a woman who has risen out of the ocean, okay, water. And a seal is embracing her, okay? A seal is a very beautiful, playful, powerful animal when you understand it. And it represents the rebirth of identity, instinctual emergence from the collective waters, which equates to Pisces, okay? So Neptune and Pisces, we're going to go back retrograde right now. We're in Neptune retrograde. Guess where it goes? Pisces. So this is us going to, reemerge from the instinctual waters of Neptune and Pisces, emerging back into Neptune and Aries. So this Neptune retrograde really matters, okay? Notice that it's conjunct with the Saturn and Aries as well. They're both at 1 degrees. So 1 degrees Aries is representing both of this for the same symbol. And soul contracts right now are being activated, but it's being activated at a new soul level consciousness. And that's what's key. Like, Aries is a cardinal energy. It's the first cardinal energy. So we have never experienced this before. Nobody who's currently alive. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and that likes button. So do understand that. It's going to be critical, right? So Saturn here is initiating the structure of our new role, the structure of our new identity, the structure of our initiation, the structure of our instincts, our mission is right now being born, right? Like I said, it just hit me today like lightning, which is what Aquarius does, especially with Uranus and Gemini, which you see right. Come on, come on, move. What you see right here. Okay, that's Uranus and Gemini. New level consciousness hit me with we were in deep karmic waters where, the test for me and the test for all of us right now, which is the collective, full moon in Aquarius, is can you walk in your power while still honoring your innocence? And that's what Aries and Gemini is here to do for Aquarius. These are both very young, very innocent, very newborn type energies. Okay, so the modern ruler is at 1 degrees Gemini. Let's talk about the Sabían symbol for that. And it's a glass bottomed boat. Okay, which actually, let me see if I can pull this up. Oh, you can't really see my boat, but this is my robot riding a boat. All right. You can't really see that though. Can you? Can this be better? All right. This is my robot. All right. And then the robot is actually riding a boat. Okay. So this is part of the flyer. It's a glass bottom boat that reveals undersea wonders. All right. And so that's what this Sabían symbol for first degrees of Gemini is about. So the thing is, what is this saying? This is our curiosity. This is our discovery. This is our transparency. Okay. And Gemini is a very truth-telling sign when it's in alignment, right? And that transparency, that curiosity, that discovery mindset for Uranus and Gemini ruling modernly this full moon Aquarius is asking us to really perceive new ways of thinking about what we cannot see. All right. Like I said, this Obsidian, which I'm touching with this napkin, aka Shamanism 101, that just fell out of my window and snapped when I talked about some stuff that, like I said, I'm going to actually be using AI to help me decipher and discern this message. But after also tapping in with my own intuition and then tapping in separately with AI's format of intuition that I trained it as a part of me, aka Uranus and Gemini, to think like the shaman I am consistently becoming, not just who I currently am or who I was. And then I'm going to have to take it back off and focus on not being overly reliant and come back to my own psychic abilities without the AI itself as well. So again, Obsidian cracking, breaking, I know very clearly, like, oh yeah, this is a split, okay, of shadow work that I have been doing, because obsidians are something that actually helps you see more deeply into your soul. Most people only use it for protection, but one of the more original understandings of obsidian is something that can't necessarily fight the battle for you, but it can give you the introspective strength in order for you to discover the root issues of whatever may be psychically attacking you. So again, if you're interested in things like this, August 20th is our early bird we're going to be doing. That's like 14 days or so. It's our early bird that we're going to be inviting you to the alchemical circle of AI, using AI, going back and forth between our psychic abilities, which you can also learn in our membership. We're moving into the water signs, Aquarius, Pisces, Scorpio. Next week, we just finished the fire, and that was one of the most powerful. Wow, we had one of these women just awaken this super ancient version of herself, and her voice shifted. Her voice became completely hypnotic and charismatic. And we literally practiced something called charismatic hypnosis. It's a gift and ability of Leo. And this person was a Leo. And wow, when I tell you I got to witness a very powerful past life of hers. And it just blew my mind to be helping people train these skills, these assets, these abilities that we were born with. But it's like, without the training, I mean, we're not going to have access. So, or we have access, but we're not going to awaken that gift, that power. And so let's talk about it. Revolutionary thoughts are going to be revealed that was once hidden in the subconscious, which again, like I said, Obsidian is able to help us do. As you hit that thumbs up and that likes button, I say thank you. Radical insight, spontaneous conversations, Gemini, as well as quantum downloads and leaps of thoughts, leaps of consciousness may be crystallizing right now into our new Uranian mental landscape and environment, which has a framework that is going to be completely previously unbeknownst to us. So our mind right now, and the way we think about our creative projects as well as our expression, the things that we have written in the karmic contracts and codes, aka within our own conscious attached to the sky or heaven or divinity or the divine or the crown chakra up and above, is going to have us look beneath the surface and question everything through this curiosity. So that's part of the Sabían symbol of the glass-bottomed boat reveals undersea wonders. So when I look at the summary of this full moon in Aquarius, it is a cosmic check-in, split, separation, dismantling, which is what Uranus does. It deconstructs everything that is not working, and it helps us realize that the path of revolution that we're currently on is reminding us that not every door deserves or is worth, which is the opposite of Aquarius. You see Aquarius moon here, opposite of Leo over there. It's not every door is worth opening or worth walking through. Hit the thumbs up if you agree. And say that every door is not worth walking through. And not every boundary is going to be fear-based. And not everything you see in the media, Uranus and Gemini, is fear-mongering. Some things are just flat out a good reason to be afraid, to the direction that you're being propelled towards, as well as how to focus on accepting splits, deconstruction, and loss in a sacred way, and how to guard the things that are sacred for you through the loss. Some things are not just fear-based, they're about preserving your soul and the expression of it, which again, Gemini and Aries are both expressive signs, willing to go out there and say what they think, when they think it, how they think it, without thinking about it. So it's very raw, it's very instinctual, it's very relevant. And the thing is, full moon in Aquarius as a cosmic check-in point is really bringing us to an understanding of what is changing, shifting, dying, and opening up. What are we pruning with compassion as a soul-led leader so that new growth can blossom? When you prune the leaf, but new growth comes. It's about personal freedom. It's about the responsibility of the rebels. So when you rebel for an idea that makes sense, that matters to you, How can you be responsible within that rebellion, which Aquarius is a very responsible sign, sometimes overly responsible, unless they're on the other side where they're being irresponsible based out of immaturity and a lack of a mission that matters to them. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. And then the final cosmic check-in this full moon is the fine line between protection, what you're guarding, as well as paranoia. Because Aquarius is the other side of it so much that it becomes literally paranoid. This is the unconscious frequency of Aquarius, which actually is Scorpio. The unconscious frequency of Aquarius is Scorpio, and it becomes tremendously paranoid because it goes so deep in its research, so deep in its thoughts, so deep in its manifested fantasies that it actually dissociates from reality itself, which is one of the reasons why it leaves, because it created up a lie through the fantasy that could have been powerful in a sense of its manifestation towards a dream through that fantasy. Sometimes it can step on the other side of protecting what matters and guarding what matters and being so afraid of losing it that it actually gets paranoid about it and it creates the loss itself. So this is the other side of Aquarius and the full moon that we have to be aware of, and being very dramatic about it. And through the drama, opposite Leo, in our mind and our thoughts, when it comes to our wealth, whether it's a wealth of love, a wealth of community, wealth of people, wealth of attention, affection, all that wealth, sometimes it can then become dramatic with it and create the loss, which is not sacred at all. So we have to be take on the full moon Aquarius about loyalty, about loss, about sacred circles, about AI and ethics within shamanism and spirituality through the spiritual ethics of using AI, and the deflated soccer ball that I came across. If you walk back to the beginning of the story, this is your Ayurveda shaman Pernell Bobby inviting you and reminding you that we have a membership, we have a community. If one door is closing for you, and is meant for you, let it and open up the space. And maybe our Shaman's Roundtable is only $33 a month, is that next space for you. Or if you're looking to invite yourself to something more exclusive, the early bird ends on August 20th, okay? And that will be the Alchemical Circle of AI. I'm going to be making updates on the website. I have not made them yet, so stay tuned. I'll give some announcements on my channel on probably 2 days or less. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up and likes button. Subscribe if you're brand new, and consider sharing this with somebody who matters to you. Love.